Hey guys, so I've just got to the location. This is where waterfall Uncaged is. Such a beautiful little waterfall, and there is absolutely no one around. So it's absolutely fantastic. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is obviously off the topic of presents. So what I want to talk about really is that the other day I was standing in front of the sea, and it was a cold day, it was windy, and I was thinking about all the things we stop ourselves from feeling. We stop ourselves from feeling the cold by wrapping up, by going into our houses whenever it's cold. Whenever it's raining, we put an umbrella up, we put raincoats on. We don't want to feel the rain anymore, we don't want to feel cold anymore. We only want to feel the comfort, the warm, and we've got to remember what nature feels like. And when I was standing there, I was cold, but I was just enjoying the feeling, like the wind against my face, the coldness, the calmness of the sea. Well, not the calmness of the sea because it was windy, but you get what I mean. But yeah, I brought you here to the waterfall because I don't know how many of you have actually stood underneath a waterfall, but the feeling you get from it is absolutely amazing. Do you know how much power this can generate? You can just see the power of it, and I'll take you closer to it. I'll put it on my GoPros because the camera will get wet, but I want to just take you through the experience that I got when I walked through it and actually felt the power of nature. I mean, the feeling is incredible. But yeah, so I'm just going to put down the camera now. I'm going to get my GoPro out. So here it is, the waterfall. As you can see, look at that raw power. You just see the rainbows being formed here. Pure power. Right, let's go walking it. You can see here all the water vapour being pushed up here, and I can just feel. And you can hear that wind, just the force of it. Walking here. Woo! Woo! Now that is power. And you don't get this feeling sitting at home. Get outside and experience the feeling of nature. Pretty wet now, but there you go. Yeah, so following on from what I wanted to say, what we need to do on a day-to-day basis is just have time to smell the roses, as they say. So on your way, on your commute to work, what's around you that's beautiful, we take everything for granted that's around us, and we just kind of ignore it in a way. We sort of get used to our surroundings and we don't really appreciate them. I'll tell you one time where 2 seconds, waiting out for traffic. Oh, it's a big hill here. Can we tackle it? Yeah, we're running out of battery as well on the board. I've been on it quite a bit today. So this is one time when I started speaking to this girl in a village while I was in Croatia. I took her out for a date and we went to what I thought was really beautiful. So if you can imagine, the amazing scenery that I've kind of showed you in the vlog, I took her to something similar and she's like, why did you take me here? Well, I was like, well, can't you see? It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's nice. And she's just like, well, can't you take me to the town? Obviously she didn't really have a car, so she doesn't really, people around here in the towns, they don't, having a car or something is quite a luxury, so they don't get around too much. So she's like, oh, can we go to the town? At Šibenik, which is just sort of like this beach town. So we went there, just having dinner and all that kind of stuff, which is all well and good. But what I kind of noticed was, for me, being brought up in a town, or being going to like London, to cities and stuff like that, I didn't really appreciate it. Like, it was normal for me. And then when I come here, when I see the nature and stuff, I'm like blown away, and I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. But then if you take someone that's lived here their whole life, all the beautiful sights here have just come normal to them. Like, they don't see it. They don't see it like I see it. And then you kind of like, well, why? But then if they go to somewhere like London, where there's loads of buildings and stuff like that, they'll be absolutely blown away. Whereas you'll be like, well, it's just some buildings. Like, what's so special about that? But like, it just shows that whatever you're kind of accustomed to, you kind of lose sort of gratitude, and you sort of lose your understanding and your feelings towards your surroundings, basically. Want to see the opposite, which you haven't seen before. I kind of learned that no matter what sort of place or scenario you're in, you might not be enjoying stuff. Like the hometown that I'm from, I always was like, oh well, you know, Stafford's a boring place, what's so special about that? But do you know what? Stafford's is a nice town. It's got good people. Got Cannock Chase, which is really nice. So if you want to have like a nice walk into nature, you've got that. You've got all the shops, you've got all the stuff to do. You've got a train station that can take you to sort of any city. It's pretty centralised. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things about Stafford, which when you're young, you don't really appreciate. You just kind of want to see what you haven't seen, which is understandable. But the point I'm getting to, be more open to seeing your surroundings, to being grateful for where you're from, to being grateful for what you have around you. As someone else that lives in another country or lives in another place, is going to appreciate where you're from. I'm really going slow up this hill just because the batteries are dead. Is it going to survive? I hope so, because dragging this thing is a pain. Sorry, I was doing a bit of a sing song there. But yeah, appreciate where you're at, appreciate where you are. Appreciate the cities, appreciate nature. For me, I love this. I love the nature. But again, I haven't been brought up in it. And maybe if I was born here, I would be completely opposite. I'd be like, oh, well, all that stuff's boring, do you know? All that stuff's boring. I want to see the cities. I want the nightlife. I want the booze. I want the this and that and the other. You know, you're going to want what you haven't got. And it's always that way, isn't it? You always think the grass is greener on the other side. And you always want what you don't have. Quite a crazy life it is, isn't it? Quite a crazy life. I'm always looking for topics on what to do my other episodes on, so if you think about anything or if there's anything you want to see, let me know and I'll potentially get that created for you. But yeah, enjoying my time, enjoying creating content, something I've always wanted to do. So isn't it crazy how it's sort of minus 20 out here? Minus 20, what the hell am I on about? It's like t-shirt weather out here, but then if you look at the mountains over there, that's Dinara. I'm pretty sure it is anyway, I could be wrong. It's all got snow on it still. So yeah, nuts.